Hi everyone, Jenny here again for our Sassy Sunday workout. Something a little bit different today, following on from last week's workout where we did some standing pilates movements. We're going to take it down to the floor today, and again I'm going to take you through some basic pilates. If you haven't done pilates before, then stay with the lower options that I'm going to take you through. And don't forget, if you have any issues, any aches, pains, any medical conditions, you're not sure if you should be exercising, make sure you check with your doctor before going ahead. Make sure you do have a drink handy. It does help if you have a mat as well, because it just gives that little bit of cushioning between yourself and the floor. And this workout you could actually combine. So if you wanted something a bit longer, then you could do the standing workout from last week, which was just under 20 minutes or so. And then you could bring yourself down to the floor and continue with what we're about to do today. Okay, so let's get started. I'm going to turn side on here on the mat. And I'm going to start in a seated position, knees bent, just holding loosely underneath my thighs. Try and think about the crown of the head lifting towards the sky, drawing the belly in and up, connecting the pelvic floor muscles. Send the shoulder blades down, and we're going to start with a C curve. So as you inhale, just draw the belly in, start to roll down, thinking about laying the spine down a bone at a time, just to the point of arm extension, and then as you exhale, rolling in and coming back up to that nice, tall, long spine. Inhalation to roll, exhalation to curl. So you feel as if you're tucking the tailbone underneath you, and then each bone in the spine just rolling down to the mat. So you're not going all the way down, rolling in and up. Try and keep released and open across the chest here. Letting the breath flow, keeping the movement flowing with the breath. Let's do one more. Now this time I want you to roll all the way down. Hold on to the legs to help you if you need to. And we're going to bring the feet in so that heels are in line with the knee, hip and shoulder. Feet are nice and flat. You can feel that connection, ball of the foot, heel to the mat underneath you. Now I want you to think about finding your neutral spine. So that neutral spine means that you have that natural curve of your lower back on the floor. So we're not excessively arced away and we're not pressing the back down flat, okay? So you're just trying to find what is natural for you. Lift the pelvic floor muscles, draw the belly in. Feel as if you're zipping up that pair of tight jeans, okay? And the arms just resting down by the side, gaze to the ceiling. On the exhalation, we're going to float one leg into tabletop. Inhalation, placing it down again. Exhalation, other leg comes up. So this is our basic leg float. Now you are moving the leg from the hip joint. The angle at the knee should stay the same. And we're just working alternate legs and focusing on keeping the hips as still as possible here, so we're not rocking around on the mat. Letting the breath flow through the movement, exhalation to lift, inhalation to lower. Now the next time you lift your right leg, I'd like you to keep it up into that tabletop position and take your hands to your temples, and then you're going to curl up to the tips of your shoulder blades, and as you exhale, cross away from the leg that's lifted. Exhale to cross, inhale to release. Exhale to cross, inhale to release. So this is our oblique curl. Let's aim to do 6 or 8 of these. And again, ground through the foot that is on the floor. I'm going to hold this one across now, so I'm twisted. And as I inhale, I'm going to extend that leg away and then squeeze it back. Inhalation, extend. Exhalation, back. And again, we'll aim to do about 6 to 8 of these on this side, staying lifted and crossed here. Try not to pull the head. Feel that long length. And again, both hips should feel connected to the floor, okay? Let's do a couple more. And then I'm going to center, release the head and shoulders down to the floor, taking the arms down by your sides. Now, again, connect to make sure that you're still in place with the pelvic floor and the abdominals. Lift that other leg up into tabletop. Now, hopefully I'm there, but ideally tabletop means that your hips are in line with your knees and your feet are in line with your knees also. So it's as if somebody was going to put a tray across your shin bones. It's like a tabletop. Okay, so we're going to leg float from here. So we're going to inhale to touch the toe down, exhale back up, draw the belly in. So this is a progression from that basic leg float where we started. If you find this is a little bit too much, then put the feet back down to the floor and repeat the leg float from the floor that we did the first time around. Okay? So again, hips are staying nice and still, chest is open, breath flows. Okay. Now the next time I put the right foot down this time, I'm going to leave that left leg up and the right foot on the floor. Take my hands to my temples, curl up to the tips of my shoulder blades, and then exhale, cross away from the leg that is lifted. Exhale to cross, inhale to come back. And again, 6 to 8 of these. We're going to hold across on that last one. Inhale to extend the leg away, and exhale to draw it back again. Make sure that the foot that is on the floor is still very firmly connected. Maintain that rotation. Use the opposite elbow on the floor to help stabilize you, so you're not pulling on the head. Couple more. And then I'm going to release down to the floor with head and shoulders. Arms come down by my side. Now, you've got two options here. You can place the other foot back down to the floor here, or you could leave it up in tabletop and bring the other leg up to join it. Up to you. We're going to take the arms up towards the ceiling, fingertips towards the ceiling, palms facing in line with the shoulders. Let the shoulder blades sink down into the mat, and as you inhale, open the arms out to the side. Exhalation, push back up above you. So this is called our arm float. Draw the belly in and up. Everything else stays still. I want you to feel that as you bring the arms back up above you, you feel the resistance, almost as if something is pushing against your arms, trying to stop them coming back up again. A couple more repetitions, again 6 to 8 of each exercise. And we're going to keep the arms back up above us, palms still facing in. Place one foot down and the other foot down. And if your feet were already down, you didn't need to do that. And we're going to bring the heels a little bit closer towards the bottom. Now, if you're able to keep your hands up above you for this, that's great. If not, you can take the arms down by your sides. So we're going to pelvic curl. On the inhalation, lift the tailbone, start to peel the spine away from the floor a bone at a time until you're bridged up to the tips of your shoulder blades, and then release. Rolling the spine back down a bone at a time here. Okay, I'm going to lift my arms up towards the ceiling. So inhale, tilt, peel. Place the weight through the feet. And then exhalation, articulating the spine down a bone at a time into the mat. Inhale up. So obviously taking the arms away from your sides makes this a little bit harder. You're aiming to not let your knees fall in or outwards. Again, stabilizing, using those abdominal muscles, using your glutes, your bum muscles. Legs are coming into this as well. Letting that breath flow. Let's just do a couple more. This is a great exercise. If you do suffer with your back in any way, obviously be careful, but this is a great exercise if you do struggle with your lower back, just to get things mobilizing. And we're going to release the arms down by the side. And I want you to roll onto one side for me. So I'm going to come up here. And we're going to do a little bit of sideline work. So I'm going to stay up on my elbow here. You can lay down if you want to. I'll be laying down for the next exercise. And we're going to bring the heels in line with the hip and the shoulder. The knees are bent at about a 90-degree angle. And we're going to keep the toes together as we just open that top knee and close it down again. So this is called our clam. Exhalation to lift, inhalation to lower. Now, if you are up on this underneath arm, make sure that you're not collapsing into the shoulder here. Think about sliding that shoulder blade down, feeling that squeeze into the bum muscles as you open that thigh in the hip joint. Feel that rotation. Try not to roll back away from it. So a couple of more here for our clam. And then I'm going to extend my legs away. I'm going to lay myself down. I'm quite long, don't know if the mat's long enough. And my hips are stacked, one on top of the other. I'm going to bring my feet forward slightly, moving my legs from the hips, flexing the feet. You should just be able to see your toes as you look down. Okay, let's just adjust the t-shirt as well. And we're going to lift the top leg, angle the foot downwards, nice and soft through this upper body. Inhale to touch in front, exhale to lift. So this is called hot potato. Letting the breath flow. If you can, go for 8 repetitions on this one. And then we're going to take the leg behind. Inhale to touch behind, exhale to lift. And release. From here, we're going to come up again onto that underneath elbow. We're going to take this to a 3/4 plank position. So I want you to bend your underneath leg at right angles. Keep your knees together. Use this top hand to help if necessary. And bring yourself up. Try and pack the shoulder. So again, you're not collapsing here. And we're going to lift this top arm. So you're holding this 3/4 side plank or side hover. Lift the arm up towards the ceiling. The gaze stays forwards. Try and keep your head in line so you're not collapsing through the neck. Now here, if you can, you're going to inhale, thread this arm through, and exhale to unthread. And you can take the arm slightly beyond the line of the body if you want to, just to get a little bit more of a heart opener. I'm just going to adjust here because my elbow was not quite underneath my shoulder. Inhale, wrap. Exhale to open. Try to keep that underneath hip lifted. I'm just going to hold this stretch at the top for a second. Let the breath flow. Bring the arm back above and release down. So let's do that all on the other side. So swinging around. So we start up on this underneath elbow. Again, adjusting the clothing. Knees are bent, heels in line with your hip and your shoulder, hips stacked. Exhalation, toe to toe, just open that top thigh. Inhalation to lower. Feeling that squeeze in the bum muscles. Trying not to let yourself roll backwards as you work here. Upper body is released. And when you've done your 6 to 8 repetitions, probably 8 of those if you can, extend the legs, lay yourself down. Bring the feet slightly forward so that as you flex the feet, you can just see your toes as you look down the line of the body. Hips stacked. Lift that top leg. Inhale to touch front. Exhale to lift. Taking the leg behind, inhale to touch, exhale to lift. Feel that underneath leg still lengthening away from you. And when you've done 8 at the front and 8 at the back, release. Bring yourself back up again to that underneath elbow. Underneath leg bends at right angles, top leg extends. Use the hand to help you lift. Try and make sure that the elbow is in line with the shoulder on this supporting arm. And up you come with that top arm. Get that maximum gap between the waist and the floor. And then as you inhale, thread through. Exhalation, unthread. Heart opener if you can. Inhale to thread. Exhalation to open. As you open that arm, if you are able to take it slightly behind the line of the body, just make sure that you're not popping the rib cage forwards. So zip up, draw that belly button in and up. Pelvic floor should still have that mild connection. Letting the breath flow as you work. Last one. Holding this lift. Breathe. Feel that length and release. Let's bring it round onto all fours. So, 4-point kneel position. If you don't mind, I'm just going to tuck my t-shirt in a little bit at the back here. And it looks like my tags are falling out as well. You can hang me up at the end to dry. Okay, so we're coming into 4-point kneel. Hands are underneath the shoulders, knees are underneath the hips. Feet released. Send your shoulder blades back towards your hips and lift your belly button towards your spine without curling. Tailbone pointing back and down. And on your exhalation, you're going to lift one arm and the opposing leg. Slide and lift. Inhalation coming back, switch sides. Exhale, inhale. So you want to be really careful as you do this, not to let the back drop, okay? So staying engaged through the center. You also want to be careful that as you lift the arm, you don't bring the shoulder up towards the ears. Think about that neck staying nice and long. Equal number on each side. And then we're going to take the hands a little bit wider. Let's do a little bit of upper body work. Now I'm just going to take this into a box push-up. I will show you a progression as well for those of you that are able. So again, you're staying in your 4-point kneel. You just step your hands a bit wider. Don't take them forwards. Make sure that they are still in line with your shoulder. And as you inhale, nose to floor, exhalation back up again. Now you're trying to bring your nose in front of your hands. We're not sitting back here, we're aiming forwards. For those of you who are able to go 3/4, hands come forwards, body weight transfers. Make sure you're not letting those hips sink. Lift the belly button, chest to floor, and up again, okay? So we're aiming for 6 to 8 repetitions. Breathing in, breathing out. And when you're done, we're going to sit the bottom back towards the heels, take the arms out in front of us, and bring ourselves into child's pose. Letting the breath flow. If you want a little bit more stretch for the shoulders, just lift up onto the fingertips. And from here, we're just going to bring ourselves around. And we're done. Thanks ever so much for staying with me for this little floor work Pilates mat session today, guys. I feel a little bit hot, a little bit windswept, a little bit interesting. I'm not sure about that actually. So as I said at the start of the session, you could could always do last week's standing Pilates and then bring it down onto the floor. If you are just going to go straight into this floor session, make sure you're a little bit warm before you start. And at the end of it, if you've got the time, just lay yourself down and maybe just do a little bit of relaxation, maybe a little bit of meditation, whatever you've got the time for. Thanks ever so much for staying with us today, and I will see you hopefully same time, same place next week. Have a great week.